Hey there. So, have you ever been in a formal situation, maybe an interview, and suddenly they ask you to talk about your family? It can totally catch you off guard, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you some super simple, polished phrases so you can answer that question with total confidence.
Yeah, picture this. You're in an interview. Everything's going great. And then, could you tell me something about your family? It feels a little personal, maybe a bit tricky. But don't you worry, because we are going to break down the perfect way to handle this.
Okay, so first things first. Part 1 is all about describing your family's nature. A really great way to kick off your answer is just to give a general vibe. Are you a big, sprawling family or more of a small, tight-knit group? Let's dive into the right words for that.
This is super straightforward. When you're talking about size, you can just be direct. For a big family, you can say, ours is a large family. And if your family is smaller, you'd say, ours is a small family. See? Simple, clear, and totally polite for any formal setting.
Now, what if you live with grandparents, aunts, uncles, multiple generations under one roof? You can get a bit more specific. In that case, you'd say, ours is a large joint family. That one little word, joint, adds a ton of detail and really paints a clear picture.
Okay, so we've covered size, but what about values? This is another great angle. If your family is pretty traditional and follows customs closely, you could say, ours is an Orthodox family. On the flip side, if your family is more open to new ideas, you might say, ours is a modern, liberal family. Both options are great for giving a sense of your family's general outlook.
All right, part 2, counting family members. So you've set the scene with the type of family you have. The next logical step, just say how many people are in it. Let's see how to do that without any fuss.
And the formula for this is super easy. You just say, there are, then the number, and finish with members in our family. So, for example, there are 8 members in our family. It's clean, it's simple, and it's effective. Can't go wrong. Okay, your turn for a second. Just think about your own family. How many members? Go on, fill in that blank in your head. Personalizing it right now is the best way to make it stick. Want to add a little more detail? Here's a great little 3-step process. First, state the total. We are 6 members in our family. Then, list them out. My father, my mother, my 2 sisters. And here's the really polished finish. And a brother besides myself. That little phrase, besides myself, is such a nice touch to include yourself at the end.
Okay, on to part 3, introducing your brothers and sisters. This is a super common part of describing your family, so let's get the phrasing down perfectly.
The most direct way to do this? Just use the I have structure. For example, I have 2 brothers and a sister. Simple, to the point, and everyone knows exactly what you mean. But there's another really cool way to say it. You could say, we are 2 brothers and a sister. Now listen closely, because the difference is key. This way includes you in the count. So in this example, it means there are 3 siblings altogether. It's a subtle shift, but it's just as correct and sounds very natural. Okay, we've covered all the building blocks. You know what they say, practice makes perfect. The best way to lock these phrases in your brain is to actually say them out loud. So let's do a quick practice round. I'll say the phrase, and you repeat it after me. Ready?
Let's start with family size. Repeat after me. Ours is a large family.
Good. Now for the opposite. Say it with me. Ours is a small family.
All right, let's move on to values. For a traditional family, let's go with, ours is an Orthodox family.
Awesome. And for a more modern one, ours is a modern, liberal family. Okay, time to state the number of members. Remember that easy formula? Let's practice with this example. There are 8 members in our family. Next up, siblings. First, the I have method. Repeat this. I have 2 brothers and a sister. And now for that other way, the one that includes you in the count. Let's try it. We are 2 brothers and a sister. Fantastic job. All right, this is the most important part. It's your turn. I want you to actually say the sentence out loud, but fill in the blanks with your details. Go on. This is where you go from just knowing it to actually owning it. And that's it. Just like that, you've got a clear, confident, and structured way to talk about your family in any formal setting. So the only question left is, are you ready for that next conversation? You know what? I bet you